Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Dakota Jazz Collective, for playing during the reception. That was their warm-up. We'll get to see more of them in the future. Welcome to the 21st South Dakota Governor's Awards in the Arts. We're very happy to have you all here. My name is Kristen Donnan Standard. I am the president of the South Dakotans for the Arts. And I'm here with
Paul Higbee. I'm the chair of the South Dakota Arts Council. And as always, we are honored to have tonight Reverend Webster Tuhawk Sr. give the invocation.
I'm so used to saying that wherever I go, it means my friends and relatives here this evening. I'm happy to be here and always like to acknowledge, of course, first of all, God created us, created everything, and so He's the first one with that power, the first one to acknowledge. And when He finished the creation, He said it was good. And sometimes I think that it may be good and beautiful are the same thing to me. Because as I look around, you know, we see God's creation, and then we have us as the humankind. And he gave certain gifts to people. I think He must have forgot about me. But we have some very special people who are gifted or talented, and so they are able to take that and develop it. It's there, and they tell me that each and every one of us, we have something that, you know, that we can develop and use for, you know, for other people, entertain. So this evening, I want to acknowledge God, the Creator, for giving us everything, and also to acknowledge those people who are here that we're going to recognize this evening, and to thank God that He gave them talents, the things that they can develop to share. And sharing is so important, whatever we have. And so all of these, I'd like to say it in my own language after a bit here, but the things that we can hear, and I have to have a little help here with my ears to hear better, and things that we can see, you know, the glasses, I have to depend on them. But these are some of the things that we have, you know, in our life that we can appreciate. And so this evening, especially, we want to give the Great Spirit God thanksgiving for the people that we're going to recognize, the people who are here and the groups of people who promote arts. And that's something that this is my, I don't know, I forget, I quit counting here a while back. I've always enjoyed coming here, and of course to say the prayer first. And so I'm going to do that in my own language, the Lakota language, which is the first language I learned. And one of the first things that my mother taught us is to say thank you. And that's something that's very good. I've never forgotten that, and I think all of us probably were taught that too. And so this, in thankfulness this evening, I will pray that the Great Spirit God will continue to bless people like the ones we're going to recognize tonight. There's more of them, but some people, you know, either forget or did not, you know, develop their God-given talents. But this evening I'm honored to say thank you to God for all of this, all of you here to support the arts, that we can enjoy seeing, we can enjoy hearing, and to really appreciate what God has put here, some of it has to be uncovered and revealed. And these special people who we're honoring tonight are the ones who have done that. And there's always something new that they can reveal, as generations come. So I just want to say thank you for inviting me to be here, and to say thank you for all of these, the people that in the generations to come that will also develop themselves, what God has given to them, and share it with the rest of us as they do. So if I may, my friends and relatives, I'd like to say that in a briefer way, I can probably say things a lot quicker and briefer in my own language than the English language, which I'm trying to learn still. So if I may, mitakuyepi. Wakant kashila lechtatu kihan. Oyate eatona wichala washte. Nahena taku tona wayupi kaptaichi hena wichaku. Ochanke lechtatu kihana wichungalo ni hapikte. Hechila ketrogata kia. Oyate upikte unkichin chapi hena upkte hena isha hechchi hena uspich chapi naha. Tako nach washte na wang washte heniuha yupiakela ke uyoni hamna hena ke on kiapikte. Ochanke lechtatu kilila wopilat khanka beluha wakhan khanka nishnala niwakha. Hena taku ki ayakaga chanke wopila echichie. Olemit hemitaku oyasi ob boche kegela wakaga lo mitaku yepi. Again, thank you very much, God, for the privilege again for me to say thank you for those who have developed your talents and that you've given to them. And so help us to enjoy them this evening and really appreciate what they have done. So this is my prayer. Tungashila. Ohechetu. Amen. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Reverend Tuhawk. We have come together this evening to recognize the contributions of our most distinguished colleagues in the South Dakota arts community. We're here to consider the legacy of all who have come before us and the gifts of their productive and monumental works of art.
So what exactly does that mean? Well, we don't want to intimidate anybody. It really just is our intention tonight to keep the evening classier than a Rapid City Rush promotion involving beer chugging. However, that does not mean that we can't have as much fun as a Rapid City Rush promotion involving beer chugging. I should mention tonight that we are pleased to have so many gifted musicians with us, and Kristen, in all honesty, asked if I could sing, and some of you know very well that I can't sing. She was thinking of 2 years ago when our executive director of the South Dakota Arts Council, Michael Pangburn, sang beautifully at an event, and I said, no, remember our Rapid City Rush deal, we're going to be classy tonight, so we're going to leave the singing to Jami Lynn, and you'll hear her again later.
We'd like to welcome Governor Dennis Daugaard and First Lady Linda Daugaard. Thank you for joining us tonight. Also, Secretary Jim Hagan, thank you for being here. Also, thank you to all of our legislators. We appreciate your hard work at this time of year. We also would like to welcome any past award recipients to this evening, and thank you for your contributions.
I want to recognize again some of the parts, the exhibit by George Prisby Sibish, curator. George described his vision this way, and if you were out and saw the exhibit earlier, this makes all the sense in the world. We've all experienced an unexpected encounter. It takes a second or two to recognize an otherwise familiar face. It is out of the surroundings we usually associate with it, and somehow it looks different. We notice features that we've never seen before. Such is the case with the work in this exhibit, and I think it certainly meets that standard. And we have some of the artists who contributed to this exhibit here tonight. And I'm going to list their names. I'm going to ask them not to stand at this point. But some of the artists are Steve Bormas, Ginny Freitag, Becky Grismer, Connie Herring, Dale Claude Lamphere, John Lopez, Erica Merchant, Donald Montello, Julie Moore Peterson, John Henry Peters, George Privy Sibich, Marshall Rayburn, Grant Standard, Dwayne Wilcox, Gene Selvey, Weiss, and now if you could all stand and we will give you a round of applause.
And John Lopez, why don't you just stand up again real quick for a second there. Everybody, give John an extra round of applause for the beautiful artwork that he provided for our program. Now, it wasn't an accident that we chose John's artwork to grace our program. Anyone who knows his recent work knows he's been creating mixed media sculpture with found parts, and we have watched hundreds of people in Hill City, for example, staring at the horse that's there called Iron Star and just trying to pick out all those little things. And we realized that that piece of artwork and all of these assemblages that he does reminded us of the purpose of this event and the purpose of our gathering to honor people who are doing good work. All of us in this room have something to contribute, and everyone has. And if we think back of the people who have lived here in the past 1,000 years ago, 500 years ago, 200 years ago, 50 years ago, what did they do and what were they making? And who are we now because of them? And so we realized that we wanted to use John's artwork because it's beautiful, but also because it reminds us that there's a place for all of us, there's a part for every one of us to play. And that is what we're doing by honoring the people who have made the beautiful artwork here tonight, or contributed to it.
Another artist we want to recognize, and you've got a piece of her art really close to you, and that is Donna Fink. She's an artist, educator, mentor from Plankinton, and the centerpieces are her work. And one of you at each table will be able to take that piece of work home tonight if you succeed in the game we're going to play. And I'm going to let Kristen explain that game.
I know, so does every table have one of those pieces of paper for the scorekeeper? If anyone doesn't have one, we'll get one to you. Basically, pardon me, Donna created these. Whenever Donna makes anything, everybody wants it, and so we didn't want there to be fights. So we thought we would do something fun, bringing together the parts. This is all George's fault about this idea of putting parts together. So we're going to ask 3 questions throughout the evening, and we're going to do the first one right now. Each of you can guess, or if you know the answer, and your scorekeeper will keep track. Give all of you a number so that they know which number each one of you is. So we're going to read 3 quotes. The first quotes are from sculptors, and one of those sculptors is from South Dakota. And so you get to tell which one it is. If you get it right, then you're closer to winning the table art. So Paul will read 3 sculpture quotes, and you guys decide. Each of you picks which one is a South Dakota sculptor.
Okay, one sculptor said, "The history of public sculpture has been disastrous, but that does not mean it ought to not be continued." Another sculptor said, "There is not a monument in this country as big as a snuff box." Another sculptor said, "The greater danger for most of us lies in setting our aim too high and falling short, but rather in setting our aim too low and achieving our mark." Which one sounds like a South Dakotan and which South Dakotan?
So everybody, do your vote. Okay, while you do that, we'll do our next little thing.
You're going to see some beautiful awards tonight, and we need to recognize Grant Standard of Black Hills Bronze for the award design. Grant, are you here? Thank you to Grant Standard, designer of all the awards that will be presented this evening.
Are we ready for, did you guys vote and write them all down? Are you ready for the answer on that one? Okay, who thought it was number 1? Who thought it was number 2? Pardon me?
A, B, and C.
Oh, sorry, A, B, and C. Okay, and who thought it was C? Oh, so interesting. Do you want to tell?
Yeah, number 2, or number B, letter B. The remark about the snuff box by South Dakota's own sculptor of Mount Rushmore, Gutzon Borglum. So that's the first round. We'll come back to later rounds as we move toward finding out who wins that piece of art on your table. Well, you're invited after we present the awards tonight to linger a few more around and hear some more tunes and have another look through the exhibit out in the lobby. But right now, continue to stay seated. We're going to enjoy for several minutes Jeremy Hegg on piano, Nat Jorgensen on saxophone, Jim McKinney on drums, Andrew Reinartz on bass, and Jim Spears on trumpet, and a special guest singer we mentioned earlier, Jami Lynn on vocals. Ladies and gentlemen, we present the Dakota Jazz Collective featuring Jami Lynn.
Thank you.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Thank you. We are the Dakota Jazz Collective. We come from Sioux Falls and from Brookings, where we live now, but we come from different towns all across the state originally, and even from places farther away, in the case of Dr. Nate Jorgensen on the saxophone. I'll introduce everybody in the band as you're enjoying your meals and as you're enjoying the music. That first song was called Bebop and Roses. That was a staple of Woody Herman's big band back in the 60s and 70s. The next song we're going to do is a rather new song, but it sounds like one of the old songs. It's called Pas de Trois. It's set in 3/4 time. It is something you could waltz to if you so desired. It's by Roy Hargrove, a very fine young trumpet player. Mr. Jim Spears on trumpet. Thank you very much. That's Mr. Jim Spears on the flugelhorn. Also introducing a professor at South Dakota State University. He works with the jazz bands and directs them and also conducts the sax studio, Dr. Nate Jorgensen. Now it's our pleasure to bring to the stage our special guest. Grew up in Corona, South Dakota, ladies and gentlemen. Now living in Rapid City. Please say hello to the one and only Jami Lynn on vocals. Thank you very much. Jami Lynn, they can't take that away from me. Ladies and gentlemen, next we're going to feature one of Billie Holiday's best-known songs, a beautiful ballad. It's called God Bless the Child.